Hello, Shutter Squad. Welcome back to The One Behind the Lens, where we talk about what's really going on behind the camera and behind your life. Today's episode is for photographers and women who are doing all the things, running businesses, managing families, showing up for everyone, and wondering why they're exhausted, inflamed, or just feeling off while being told everything looks fine. I'm joined by Ivy Towler, a retired registered nurse, a photographer, and a functional nutritionist in training, finishing her certification next month. Ivy brings a root cause approach to health that actually asks why instead of just managing symptoms. We're talking perimenopause, energy crashes, weight gain, gut health, and simple, doable shifts that actually fit into a photographer's real workday, not a perfect one. And yes, we talk about poop because real wellness means real conversations. Let's get into it. Well, Ivy, thank you so much for being on the podcast. I'm so excited. It's like double excited to have you on the podcast and then to see your face. And we
I
text a lot.
know.
So,
I know. Always like,
yes, yes. So, thank you so much for taking the time. I know it is Christmas break because this is going to come out on January 2nd because,
dude,
you
that's
know,
fast turnaround time.
it is a fast turnaround. But I felt
Everyone.
like this one was a good one. Everybody is starting the, new year, new you, I feel like is always the motto.
hmm There
And
is fuel with that new year. I know some
there
people are like,
is.
don't do resolutions. I'm like, why the heck not? If you have time to get going and start something, like do it. Make a
Right.
Monday. Make
Right.
Monday's a new year.
Yes,
I love a
yes.
new week, a new month, a new day. I love it
Yes,
all.
yes. Ivy, let's just kind of get into it because we're talking about the new you, new year, all that stuff. So, your work, you kind of have like a blend, and I have had this in my life since I've had you in my life. We're always asking Ivy different questions about health and if we have any, any supplements, anything like that. We're always like getting on and, hey, Ivy, let us know. How did and you were a registered nurse prior to being a photographer.
hmm
So
Yes.
how did your journey from registered nurse to functional nutrition counselor first begin?
Well, as you said, I was a nurse before I was a photographer. And that was a beautiful transition time. It's what I needed. Like I said, I have four children and they require a lot of time from me. And I was a nurse provider. And as a nurse provider, you have your own clients and patients that you're taking care of. So you have to be there. And I hated it if my kid was sick. I'd feel guilty for not being at work. But then if I was at home, I also felt guilty that, that I wasn't at work. So there was
Mm,
guilt on both sides. I'm like, this isn't working. Kids have stuff they need throughout the day. And it's not fair to my patients. It's not fair to my children. And I already had done photography as just for fun,
mm-hmm.
as a hobby. And so uh, there's a whole backstory with it, but I just went from nursing to becoming a photographer as a business. And then my business grew. And so I quit nursing altogether and did that for a while. But I've always been fascinated, of course, by my own health. Like, why is
Mm-hmm.
this happening? What's going on? So that's never left. So I feel like that nursing background just allowed me to digest things I would read or listen to. If I read a book, if I listened to a podcast with experts, all those things, they just made sense to me just because I had a medical background that allowed me to be like, oh, yeah, oh, that makes sense. And then I got into functional nutrition, um, just, as it's become more and more popular and being like, wow, that makes so much more sense to back it up and to figure out why something is happening versus just treating the symptom. Um, and so it's just always been a fascination. Biohacking, like you get into the world of biohacking and you can go down some rabbit holes in that. And everything was just fascinating. And finally, with my own health changes, I've had to do a lot of different things. Um, you can't unknow something. Once you know it, you're like, okay, I can't do that anymore. That's just not going to work for me. It's not going to work for my family. So, um, anyway, that was kind of the nurse, photographer, taking care of my own health. And then I discussed it with my husband. I'm like, I can see us once the kids are out of the house, which is just a couple more years, doing more traveling. And it would be kind of hard to be a photographer unless I was doing all destination sessions. I'll still be able
Mm-hmm.
to do it like when we're home, but if we're traveling to different places, I want to be able to have a job that I can do while I'm out and about.
Right, right.
And so as I had learned what I was learning for myself, I'm like, gosh, so many people just they don't know about this. They don't know that they can help themselves. They don't know what they can
Mm-hmm.
do for themselves, or they're doing this, they're doing that, and it worked for their spouse, but it didn't work for them. And it's just like, well, I
Mm-hmm.
can tell you why. I can help you through that. So then I thought, okay, I'm going to take classes. And my husband's like, all right, do it. So I started taking classes through the Functional Nutrition Alliance. They have this course called Full Body System. So I'm almost done. Like I
Nice.
get my certificate next month. So
Oh, yay, yay.
yeah, so I'll be excited. Oh, I take my test for my
Okay.
certification. I take my
Okay.
test. I'm gonna
Okay.
pass. I'm gonna
Yeah.
pass.
So you
Duh.
are you are going to get your certificate
I
because
am gonna
you're
get my
passing
certificate.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, that was very long description on on how I got here, but
Well, I mean, I feel like nothing is just like, well, we just turned here and turned. I mean, things, life is a long, long journey. So that's great. I love that because I know that with being a nurse, even though what you were doing, you kind of had that little bit of that background, that side where I feel like we as a society, where something's wrong, we want to go, you go to the doctor, which I mean,
oh,
you should. I'm not
absolutely.
saying that you shouldn't go to the doctor, but I love that you also have then that background plus going, hey, but you could do this to help that. Still go to the doctor, but um you can
Just
help
be
your
curious.
curious and like I love that you said you can help yourself.
Yeah. Yeah. It's just, I love doctors. They are freaking amazing. They're so
Right,
smart. They
right.
have their role that a lot of them don't get what, maybe a couple weeks, a semester of nutrition. I don't even think they get a
Sure.
semester from some of the physicians I've talked to. They're like, we didn't get really much. They learn how to avoid, conditions from malnutrition
Mm,
or from missing different things. Like if you don't have your vitamin C or vitamin D, they learn about those conditions, but they don't really learn how to optimize someone's health using lifestyle, using nutrition. I mean, there's so many things. So functional nutrition counselors are there to kind of fill the gap.
mm.
Your doctor only gets 10 to 30 minutes with you, depending on the type of appointment. There's no way they can help you and give all of their information to you so that way you can use it the way you need to make sure that you're taken care of. But if you have an infection, take an antibiotic.
Right,
You
right,
know,
right.
that's important. There's
Yes, yes. So it's like I love that you said that, like that a nutrition counselor is kind of filling that gap,
Mhm. Yeah.
helping you. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, I'm not diagnosing you. I'm holding
sure.
your hand and helping you figure out why it's happening. So that way, your doctor and me and you, we can all work together to get you where your goals are. Where do you want to
Mm-hmm,
be? Let's figure out how to get you there. You need both people.
mm-hmm,
So,
mm-hmm. So you kind of touched on this that it was, you were interested in a lot of this because of just for you, like for your own body. Um, so kind of like talking about like kind of your say like midlife. I don't know, like that's such a goofy thing. Like it's always like for me now, like it's like I'm in my midlife. And my transitions, or I even said the other day, I was like, maybe I am like done with the change, but I feel like because my mother, like that's the thing that you would talk about was the change. And as like a teenager, I would be like, what is this? And you don't really say the change anymore. Um, but we, as 40 some, 50 some women, we have hormone shifts. So I just wanted to know, when did it click that what you were learning personally was something that you almost had like a call for to help other women navigate?
Probably just in conversation with other women,
Mm-hmm.
because I had devoured a lot of books and listened to a lot of podcasts, listened to a lot of experts speak, um, to learn what I needed to learn for myself. So then when you're sitting around in with your friends or with your family and you hear people talking about things, you're like, okay, I might know what's going on there, or I wish they knew that if they tried these couple things, that might actually help them.
Mm-hmm.
And even before I started these classes, I wasn't thinking functionally, even though I knew all about functional medicine and what it means is to get to the root cause. I was still thinking top down, what can we do to help with this symptom? Someone's like, I'm bloated. I'm like, well, have you gotten rid of gluten and dairy? I mean, that would be my first thing, not knowing anything about that.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I was in a room with women not long ago, and it was actually a fun, like, art class thing. So we were doing our thing, and the one was talking about how she needed to get better sleep. And everybody was throwing stuff at her. Have you tried this? Have you tried this? Have you tried this? All wonderful recommendations, all of them. I've said them
Mm-hmm.
myself. But not one of us thought to ask, well, back it up. Let's get to the root. Let's see what's going on. Why are you having bad sleep? You know,
Mm-hmm.
you can say, do this, 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 and this, but maybe you need to just fix one thing over here. And she won't have to do all these five things over here that we're suggesting. Not that they were bad suggestions, but it's a way of thinking
Mm-hmm.
almost more than it is a way of treating. It's
Mm-hmm.
okay, let's find out what's going on. So, gosh, what was your question? I feel like I went off.
No, that was good. It was just kind of where you kind
Oh,
of with women and your like midlife and why you felt like it was wanting to help women
yeah. Mhm.
navigate.
Yeah. So I guess I did kind of answer
You
it
did.
then.
You did.
I
You
did.
did.
You
And I
get to
love that.
talking, you want to make sure, like, did I answer
Did
that
I
or did
say
I
it?
just
Yes.
lots of talking?
And I do love that you said something about like getting to the root. And I think that's for all things because I think we all, I mean, even when you have a headache and you take whatever, any kind of, ibuprofen or anything like that. Um, if you're constantly having headaches, I mean, if you just get one every once in a while, it's kind of, but if you're constantly having one, yes, the Tylenol or the ibuprofen, all of that will help it, but why are you having headaches all the time? So I
Right.
love just for that, I think people would go to the doctor and try to figure that out.
Hmm.
But maybe whatever, the sleep, you're just kind of like, I'm not sleeping well, but you're not gonna, especially as women, I feel like too, we don't, you wouldn't go to a doctor to be like, I can't sleep. You just would
Right.
deal with it.
Women often do. It's
Yes.
it's one of our things.
Yes. Yes.
But here's the thing, it's usually multifactorial. It's usually more than one thing.
Mm,
And you may be able to pinpoint it on a timeline. You could be like, wow, I was sleeping like the dead all the way to this point, and then all of a sudden it wasn't. Well, here, you moved to a new city, or you got a divorce, or you yeah, you had a baby, or maybe all three, which would be
right.
really a hard thing to navigate. So
Hmm.
it's nice to look at someone's timeline and realize that, okay, all your symptoms or your big symptoms all started around at this time, and this is what happened in your life. So that's
Mm.
something to really look at too. You can't, like, I like to blame perimenopause for everything, but that is
Yeah.
not that is not everything. That is just a time in my life. And
Right.
I think one of the things is, I don't know why it popped in my head, but some people will just fall back on their diagnosis. Well, I have
Mm.
ADHD,
Mm-hmm.
okay,
Mm-hmm.
ADHD, that's a big deal. Why do you have ADHD? What's triggering it? What's making it worse? Doesn't
Mm.
mean that you can just get rid of it, but you certainly can mitigate a lot of the symptoms that you have, and it doesn't have to be something that you're always blaming.
Mm.
That's
Mm-hmm.
just a diagnosis. Let's figure out what's going on. What are you doing in your life that's not helping yourself? So
Mm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Oh,
I don't
that
know
makes
why that.
sense.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So, House of Toose, am I saying it correct?
Hmm.
Okay. Okay. I had to
Yeah.
practice. I was like, I was like, okay, you're gonna say it like really goofy if you just say it out loud, Kate. Like, because I don't think I'd actually like said it out loud. Like I
Yeah.
read it all the time, when I see your stuff. But I was like, how do you? I think that's how you say it, like in my
Right.
head. But
Rhymes with goose. My
goose,
family, my
yes.
kids make fun of me. They're like, Tuss, House of Tuss. I'm like, no, 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 no. House of Toose. Okay. It was so hard to come up with the name. I had
I bet.
ideas. I even
Yes.
used ChatGPT. I'm like, dude, let's figure this out.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why I called it dude. I actually think of ChatGPT as a girl because whoever's talking to me, she's like my best friend.
Yes.
So she's
Yes.
she's helping me out and gives me this name. I'm like, oh, I like that one. And I'm
Oh.
like, okay, husband, buy the website. And like a week or two later, I'm like, did you get that? No. And then he plugs it in. He's like, it's already taken. I'm like, ChatGPT, you lied. And I went back
Oh.
and I said, you lied. And it said, I'm sorry, I make mistakes. The House of Toose is not the first name.
Name.
No. But so then we had to do some more noodling. But it's just like house, like your home, like your
Mm-hmm.
body is your home, it's your temple, it's your everything.
Mm-hmm.
And then Toos is like beginning, origin, that it made me think of root for root cause.
Mm. Mm-hmm.
So just
Mm-hmm.
understanding like your beginning.
Right. Yeah. I like that. I
Yeah, it
like
was
that.
I kind of liked it. And there's so many names out there for so many businesses. You can't, I
Oh,
couldn't just
yeah.
say like functional nutrition counselor.
Right. Right.
That's in everything. There's like a
Mm-hmm.
million of those. And I didn't want to use my name.
Okay. I was gonna say because you have your name for your photography,
Hmm.
but is that kind of why you wanted to separate it, or you just wanted something
I wanted something that
different?
was just not tied to me. Not that I have lofty goals in creating an empire and selling it someday, but that is something you have to consider. Mostly
Sure.
I just wanted something different that didn't
Mm-hmm.
have to be about me at all.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But
I like that. Like it's not about you, that
mhm,
it's yeah. No, I
yeah.
get that. I get that. Yeah, even when I was like name like for my photography, mine is my name too. And I was just like, I don't think you'll ever not like that. So because I was looked at all different types of, photography and I was just like, not sure. I'm not sure. And I was
Yeah.
like, you know what? This is what it's gonna. I think I just was more of a lazy. And back then there was no chat GPT to help me out.
Right. And back then I was like, oh, e- as photographers, since that's who's mostly listening to this right now, I mean, we like our stuff. I want my name on it.
Right. Yes.
I took that picture. That is
Yes.
mine. I don't care that you're in
Yes.
it. I took
Yes.
it.
Yes. Yes.
It's going to
Yes.
say Ivy Towler photography right there.
Right. Yes.
It's like
Yes.
you just want to own your art. I think that
Mm-hmm.
was a little bit different than
Then
my counseling business. Yeah.
sure. Sure. So kind of like going in, we're kind of talking about photographers, and that's who's really like listening. And I feel like there's a lot. I mean, yes, there are men photographers. I don't know how many men photographers are listening to the podcast. I feel like it's probably more women, and so that's really one of the big reasons I wanted you on to talk about nutrition. We could have definitely talked about photography. But I was like, as women, as business owners, and we're always told, take care of yourself first, but do we actually do it? No.
No, no, we don't. I mean, there are people that do, and I'm like, gosh, you're so good at that.
Right. Yeah. What is like, so now in January, this is kind of, I feel like for most photographers, this is going to be their like slower time to just take a breath, time to like look at our businesses and see, what worked, what didn't, what do we want to change, what do we not, all of that. So I do think it's time to also look at like ourselves.
Mhm.
What what would you say is something that would be a very easy, I don't know, like step into our health, into if there
You
are,
know,
questions or in our brains, or even if you don't have a question, you're just kind of like, what could I
yeah,
do that's better to better me?
I'd say first pay attention to what your goal is. I mean, so
Mm,
many people at the beginning of the year are like, I want to lose weight, so I'm going to eat better and I'm going to work out.
mm-hmm,
That's that's a lot of pressure.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
That is a lot of pressure to put on yourself. I'd say choose one thing
mm,
and just get maybe really good at it. And maybe it's just making yourself go for a walk every day.
mm,
Something super simple
mm-hmm,
and go after it like it's the coolest thing ever and get good at it to the point where you now want it and need it. And then do
mm,
the next thing. And and I'm not saying you can't do like something crazy like 75 hard, which is insane. I could not do that.
what is 75 hard?
75 hard is 75 days where you follow this protocol. You have to do two
Oh,
45-minute workouts. You have to read at least 10 pages in a book.
oh
There's like a
wow.
set things. I'm terrible at remembering all the stuff, but I do know you had to do two 45-minute workouts a day. And it was
Oh
pretty
wow.
regimented. It was a way to put yourself first. A lot of people
Mm,
would put it on social media and it's
got
for
it.
75 days and then in the hopes that okay, you got to your physical goals, you gave time to yourself, like the reading and the stuff like that.
Got it.
And
Got
that's
it.
cool. Some people that works great for. I have seen people
Mm-hmm.
do that kind of stuff. I'm like, wow, way to be, all in and take care of
Mm-hmm.
yourself. But most of what I see, whether it's friends, family, myself, people online, is it's like a whoo,
Yes.
which, you just dive down and all of a sudden you're not doing anything that you had planned to because life gets crazy. So maybe while you're sitting here wondering how you're going to reach your goal, think about how you can make just time. So
Mm-hmm.
that way you can like my I'm I'm probably good at all things in health aside from working out. My least favorite is exercise. It's probably one of the most important. I really should put it up there.
Mm-hmm.
I am amazing at making excuses or
Oh,
finding
me
a
too.
reason not to.
Me too.
I'm like, no, I'll have to shower afterward. And that just takes up too much time. It just like really, I could write a book with the number of excuses I have to not work out. So what I need to do is make it more fun and do things that I enjoy, get a partner. I've done it
Mhm.
successfully in the past. It's just staying on task. So I think create time. We are all so freaking busy. We need to figure out how to make time for ourselves. And I think a
Mhm.
big thing is just to put our phones down.
Mhm.
I think if everyone just figure out how much time you're on devices. I mean,
Mhm.
really, if you're on devices all day, then you're not going to have time to take care of yourself. You're not going to have time to plan meals. You're not going to have time to make homemade meals. You're not going to have time to work out. You're not going to be going to bed on time because you're going to be scrolling or watching something on TV. You're going to be tired. And then boom, you've just squashed all your goals. It's hard to have energy. It's hard to have, just the drive to do things if you're exhausted and stressed out.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So I'd say really look at your goals and map it out. There's like tons of like cool goal planners out there. Use those. Those can be pretty
Mm-hmm.
eye-opening. If you've never used one before, they ask some really good questions. And, sometimes your goals are all about work, but if you could just try and focus more on what your personal goals are, it's like, yeah, I want to, feel good in my body. I'm tired of having all this joint pain. I don't want to be stressed out anymore, or, figure out what you want to do
Mm-hmm.
and make time for it.
And I think that's the biggest thing is like making time for it. And I have to like write a to-do list,
Mhm.
like, and kind of have like where for me, like days are like certain days are, say, podcast day. And then maybe you can't do that. But I'm like, today I am focusing on podcasts and it might be editing or it's recording or, that kind of stuff. And I think I need to do that in my personal life as well. Like, this might be podcast day, but this is also exercise day, or it's your meal planning day, or,
Yeah.
just something like that. And we just don't, I have like, I'm looking at it right now, my to-do list at work, and I have to, and I feel like I just, and I'm terrible like with the phone where all of a sudden I'm like, you have to put that down. You can't, until it's almost like for me, it's like a reward where I'm like, okay, now you can be on your phone because you got these things done. But I probably should be doing, the exercising and
Mm.
not the excuse of oh, I have to scroll.
Right. There's nothing wrong with the reward. That's fine.
Mm-hmm.
It's just how often are you rewarding yourself?
Mm-hmm.
Every 15 minutes?
Mm-hmm.
Every hour?
Mm-hmm.
Just once a day? For an hour before you go to bed, are you scrolling? Because I would say try and put that somewhere else.
Mm-hmm.
Just,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I don't think there's anything wrong with rewards. I think it gets us going.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You had said something about like, going on a walk or things like that, and it triggered my hairdresser. She was talking about how she's now going on walks every day, and she was like, it's not really for exercise, even though yes, I'm getting exercise, but it's just a walk by herself or with her dog, and she's like, it's just my time by myself and
Yeah.
with my thoughts, and it's my time to just kind of just breathe. And I like when she was saying that, I was like, oh, like she's not looking at it as, oh, I have to go exercise.
Mhm.
She's looking at it like, this is my me time.
Kudos to her. Like big
Yeah,
round of applause
yeah,
because
yeah.
that just falls under self-care
Mm-hmm.
right there. And
Mm-hmm.
anytime we can give time to ourselves. My walking right now it's pretty cold today. I
Yes.
have the clothing I could wear. That's not a good enough excuse, but and there's really not any ice on the sidewalk, so I really could get out there. I usually like to listen to podcasts on my
Mm.
walks.
Mm-hmm.
I do a
Mm-hmm.
little bit of quiet time because I do like just to be out in nature, but that's my podcast time. So if I've got a good podcast, I'm like, ooh, this one's an hour. Let's get my shoes on and go for it. And yeah, it feels great. So kudos to her for putting herself first that way. And
Yeah. So I feel like that's a kind of a nice way to just be like, oh, it's just like if you don't feel like you have time for yourself, but it's not a huge
mhm.
ex.
Some people do what they call exercise bites or exercise snacks.
Oh.
And like, let's say you're at your desk all day,
Mm-hmm.
and if you wear, let's say, a device like an Apple Watch or something that might say, hey, it's time to stand. Well, and that comes at what, the 50 of every hour, like at 150, 250,
Mm-hmm.
350. And every time that would buzz you for 10 minutes, you get a drink of water, you do dance to a couple of songs, or you do some push-ups, or you do some squats, go to the bathroom, and then sit back down at the top of the hour and bang out another 50 minutes of something. And then do more exercises. That's
Ah.
it's pretty easy to add in. It's a little more
Yeah.
fun. Like my husband is always sitting right there. So unless he's traveling. So I don't know
Mm-hmm.
that I would get up and dance at my desk while he's here, but I've certainly bounced around, jumped around. Even like this is very domestic, even if I use that time to change the laundry and I need to run
Mm-hmm.
down the stairs, hang stuff up because we hang everything up to dry. I run downstairs, then I might go up and down the stairs a few times just to get that
Sure.
heart rate going, to get the blood flowing. It's good for your lymphatic system, of course. And those little things, they all count. So if
Mm-hmm.
you're finding yourself really full on your schedule, like it is the middle of busy season, you've
Mm-hmm.
got clients every day, you're doing editing nonstop, and you're just like, oh, how am I supposed to get in, you know, a 30-minute workout or an hour workout plus shower? Because, that's a pain in the butt. For guys, it feels quick, but for women, man, if you got to wash your hair, dry it, do all the stuff. I mean,
Right.
getting ready for you today, Kate, it took me some time. So anyway, there's that mental thing there. So if you can just
Mm-hmm.
do these little things, you don't really get that sweaty. You might get a little bit, but you're moving. You're helping your
Right.
brain. It's pretty cool. So those little exercise snacks, I think, is what someone called them.
Called them. I love that. And I do think, especially as photographers, I think, when you're not a photographer and you think, oh, you're just out photographing all the time, you're always on doing
No.
sessions, and no, most of your time is sitting in front of a computer. So I do love these exercise snacks for just because I can all of a sudden be like, oh my God, I've been sitting here for 2 hours and I'm like trying to get up and I'm like my legs and I know and I have this desk too that I can stand and I will do every once in a while I will do that but sometimes then I just kind of forget that I'm like you're kind of
Mhm.
into it so
Well, and
having
it feels
that
good too to be like, wow, I look at all the stuff I just got done in these two
yes
hours. I wouldn't say
yes
you have to break that up if you're like first thing in the morning, you've got good sleep, got a little coffee or tea in you, and you just bang out a couple hours. You're like, yeah, there's something to that too. I
right
mean,
right
because you probably can't do much more than 2 to 4 hours. And then you're like, I have to do
yes
more. Then you get it.
right
That's a great time to add those exercise
that's what I
snacks.
was gonna say. Maybe if you are doing it for 2 hours and then you're like,
Hmm.
oh, I need to get up and do my exercise snacks, like
Hmm.
even if it's not the hour or the 50 minutes, but
Yeah.
yeah, it's
And
the
then you
hour and
drink your
50.
water at that time.
Right,
And if
right,
you won't get 2 hours of work in if you're drinking a lot of water because you have to pee.
right. Yes,
But it's got to
yes,
come out. So
right,
like, I'll have like this. I have my ball jar glass of water. I'll have my coffee. I'll have my tea. Man, I'm not going to be sitting here long.
right,
It's-
right. Well, and I'm probably, I mean, A, you need to get your water in, and B, it probably helps you just, even if it is just literally getting up, going to the bathroom, and sitting back down.
Mhm.
Um, just to get you
Yeah,
moving a little
get
bit.
the blood moving. Yeah, make a
Yeah.
couple trips.
Yeah, yeah.
Get the
Dance to
get the
the
wiggle on. I know
yeah, yeah.
I'm on Zoom with you, and I forget that some people will be just listening to this, so
Right.
they're not getting to enjoy all my
Oh,
moves.
I know, I know. So if you are listening and you want to see that, just hop on YouTube.
Then they can see how good I did my hair for you today.
You did. It's beautiful. I know it is funny. Like I was like, oh, I have to put makeup on today. Like, it was that thing
Yes.
of like,
Yes.
but
Yeah. I mean, I guess I didn't have to, but
I know I didn't
I'm
have
glad
to,
I
but I,
did.
yeah, yeah. I'm
Yeah.
like, yeah, yeah. So we've been kind of talking about this too, but with again, this being the first of the month, I feel like this is the big time that we're all thinking about our weight.
Hmm.
And we all have a fear of our like weight. I just think I mean, it's always a thing. It's always a topic, I feel like, especially among women. But we have like now like if you are in your like 40s early 50s mid 50s there's weight changes, there's mood shifts, you have your energy is all wonky, I feel like in this stage of life. um what do you wish more women understood with all of that?
Basically, you're talking about perimenopause, the transition you alluded to earlier. And it's like reverse puberty, and it's just lasts a lot longer. It can start as early as like 35 years old.
Oh.
Women can start having small shifts, and it doesn't make sense because your symptoms might be that you're just a little more tired.
Mm, mm-hmm,
There's a lot of things that can make you a little more tired. A lot of women in that age group have children.
mm-hmm,
Um, most of the women I know, and not all of them, but most of the women I know have jobs outside of the home. So you've got children, jobs outside the home. A lot of women still carry on traditional roles of being the person who does the house chores, the cooking. I'm lucky my husband, he does a ton. So I got pretty lucky there, and we made our children into our little slaves. So they do all their own chores. But it's exhausting. So your fatigue might be partially caused because your hormones are starting to change, and they're just slightly changing. There's not a
mm-hmm,
huge change. It's not like, bam, I'm in it. But when you look back is when you really actually see everything that was going on. You're like,
mm,
oh, my joint pain started then. I mean, let's see, I'm 51, and I weighed 150 pounds when I was 40. Now I'm like at 190, 195. I've gained 40 pounds in a decade plus. Like, that has been the biggest trip.
mm-hmm,
That is like, whoa, what the heck? And I can look at my own timeline and be like, okay, you started full-time photography right about then. You were no longer working as a nurse. When you worked as a nurse, you were on your feet all day, every day,
mm,
walking, 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 walking. So that's one thing that changed.
mm-hmm,
Of course, hormonal changes, it just makes it a little bit more of an uphill battle. Um, my aversion to getting exercise outside of what I do for work, um, and having not totally learned everything I needed to know about what I needed to do for my health nutrition wise,
mm-hmm,
we ate the standard American diet, maybe a little bit better than the standard American diet, but we still, I was still on gluten and stuff. Um, I've probably been gluten free for about 10 years. I'll eat it on occasion, like especially when we go to my favorite pizza place, which you
mm-hmm,
guys know
yes.
because you see it all the time on my stories. Uh, but most days I try and avoid it. I have thyroid
Mm-hmm,
issues, so I try and avoid that. So, um, I think women that are going through this, they just need to be curious. You wanted to know what's one thing they need. They need to be curious
mm,
and to not brush to the side all the symptoms that they're having, all the new things that are popping up. Thyroid health changes, joint pain, fatigue, weight gain, especially around the middle, just lack of drive. A lot of
mm-hmm,
these things can be related to perimenopause, but there's other things that could be causing it too. Just stay curious. Don't sit with it. Don't think, oh, I'm just getting older, because that is not the actual answer.
mm-hmm.
It may correlate with it, but that's not the cause. So there's
Sure.
a difference. So,
So if a listener is like thinking something feels off, like as they're like listening to you talk about this and they're like, something feels off, but I don't know where to start, what could be their first step?
try to figure out what it means to be off.
Like if they're feeling, maybe if there is the weight gain, maybe they're getting, and they can't, they're not, you know, understanding what's going
Mhm.
on.
Um, well, with that curious bit, I mean, they can assess themselves. They can say, okay, 5 years ago, I was active. I had more fun in life. I had the energy to do things. I loved my business. I was working really hard in my photography business. You know, look back to where it was your favorite, where it was your best,
Mm,
and
mm-hmm,
then kind of map out what has happened and what has changed. in that
Mm.
time.
Mm-hmm.
So, like I mentioned this earlier, and these are big things, but it could be small things too. Like, did you move somewhere? Did you have more children? Are you having a hard time with your spouse? Do you guys argue more? Um, do you get good sleep? There's like some non-negotiables that you need to address. You should be getting good sleep. And if
Mm-hmm.
you're not sure if you're getting good sleep, assess how you feel when you wake up in the morning. Do you feel energized or do you feel like poop? You know,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
work on that. Get good sleep. Um, Go ahead and work on your blood sugars. We don't want to have crazy blood sugars. We don't want to be pushing our body hard to get that sugar into our cells, increasing our insulin and eventually getting insulin resistance. So that is a non-negotiable. And you want to be pooping. I know no one really ever likes to talk about this, but man, if you're having hard chunks come out or if you're having watery stuff come out, that's not normal. It should just
Mm-hmm.
be like long snakes of good stuff coming out. Shouldn't be hard. It should be easy, and you should be doing that every day. If you're not, get curious about your poop. I know it's so hard. And people usually giggle because it's like bathroom humor and we all turn
Mm-hmm.
into junior high kids again. But it really, it is so important, non-negotiable. You got to have good poops, good sleep, good blood sugar balance. That is a great starting point. So try and figure out when you were your happiest and best, figure
Mm-hmm.
out when that changed,
Mm-hmm.
and then those three non-negotiables. That would be my starting point for everyone is
Mm-hmm.
is that. And if you can't remember a time where things are great, just start with the three non-negotiables. Start
Mm-hmm.
there. And yes, your doctor can help you. There's a lot of things that can help you. People often want a quick fix. I mean, who
Right.
wouldn't? We are in
Right.
a busy, crazy world, but I don't think evolutionarily we are supposed to be this stressed to the
Right.
max. We,
Right.
I think there's too much stress and pressure on the modern human, and we don't have the coping abilities, so you have to learn those. So, it's hard to just say, "Ooh, do this one thing," but really, the non-negotiables work on stress, if, get rid of toxins in your life. In the kitchen, start there, get rid of all your plastics. Do this slowly. You don't have to go spend $1 million and redo your whole kitchen right now, but get rid of those black plastic utensils. Those are crap. Those are terrible
Mm.
for you. Stop drinking out of plastic water bottles. Don't cook in plastic. Don't use nonstick pans. Some people are like, "Oh my God, I do all of that." Well, those those have chemicals in them. They've given a name to some of them and how they react in your body as obesogens. So if you
Mm.
carry a lot of weight and you use plastic, there's probably a tie there. If you're
Mm.
exposed to chemicals, there's a tie there. And some people say, well, that's not causation, that's correlation. And I would say, what isn't correlation in medicine? Our body can only talk to us in so many ways. You've got X number of symptoms that'll show up, and they're linked to just about everything. So you really have to get curious. I feel like that's my word of the day, curious. Get curious. Be
Well,
curious.
yeah, and I think about you talking about like the plastics and things like that. And this is something I've thought of and talked about with people prior, like back when we didn't have all of this, like the convenience, like the convenient food and the convenient drinks, and like where you could just go to a gas station and get this stuff that, and I remember as a kid when like TV dinners became, and you were like,
Oh,
wow, this is like, I mean, I just felt, why, now you don't think that that's fancy, but for some reason as a kid, I thought that was like so cool if we had like our TV dinner. And I feel like now it's like, that's just kind of it's not, maybe you're not actually eating a TV dinner. But everything I feel like the convenience is in is plastic or any of the if you think about it, it's you're putting chemical on your mouth or in your mouth, all of that. And I'm not saying that women didn't have all of maybe some of these symptoms that we're kind of talking about prior to that, but I don't know if we had all of these issues, say in the 50s before or
right.
40s before all these modern conveniences to us
Hmm.
became.
Yes. Everyone's health has gotten worse. We're noticing more and more and more and more things. And you can definitely see the rise of convenient stuff and the rise of bad health.
Mm-hmm.
It's an easy correlation.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, they've now they use science to show that, yep, that plastic is not doing good for you.
Mm-hmm.
And it's
Mm-hmm.
hard because you can't control everything. My salad comes in plastic
Mm-hmm.
unless I'm going
Mm-hmm.
to the farmer's market. And even then, they might put them in plastic bags if I
Mm-hmm.
don't bring my own bags, you know?
Oh, sure. Mm-hmm.
So, but you certainly can chip at it. You can
Mm-hmm.
chip away at what things you're exposed to. And okay, it's time to get new tongs. Well, just get the metal tongs or the silicone coated tongs. Don't get the tongs with the black stuff on the end, you know?
Mm-hmm.
There.
Mm-hmm.
Or, you know what? All your cheap plastic, Tupperware, they're not Tupperware. I
But
call them
it's
that.
they do, but it's not.
That's like
Yes.
calling tissues Kleenex because that's how we grew up. So anyway,
Right,
so anything
right.
that hold any food storage, I just call it Tupperware. Okay, so your
Yes.
plastic food storage,
Mm-hmm.
ditch that. That's
Mm-hmm.
super easy and it's not that expensive to replace it with glass. And
Mm-hmm.
it's so
Mm-hmm.
nice. Then you have
Mm-hmm.
glass and it's not leaching into your food. You're not getting the plastics and, you know, boom, one more thing. Because our body, if you give it what it needs, it's going
Mm-hmm.
to work amazing.
Mm-hmm.
But if you're constantly not, if you're not doing the things it needs you to do, if you're not exercising, if you're not hydrating, if you're not
Mm-hmm.
giving it the macros it needs, if you're just constantly giving it toxins with your plastic and your nonstick pans and your candles and your perfumes and your lotions, I mean, all those things with fragrances in them, whew,
Mm-hmm.
that stuff is hard on your body. If you take that away, your body starts to say, huh, I'm doing better now. So you
Mm-hmm.
just chip away at all the little things that are insults to your body. Uh, it can definitely do great things on its own, and you don't have to add anything.
Well, I like too where you're saying, because I know that it can sound a little overwhelming, but just chip away at it. Like maybe it is just throwing away the plastic food containers and getting glass,
Hmm.
or just looking at your lotions and being like, "Oh, I can't read. I
Wow,
don't know what that says.
that's a
Maybe
hard
I
one
shouldn't put
because
it on."
they smell
They do.
good,
They do.
but I don't use them. I Unless it's something like on the environmental working group, they have a great website that you can look
Mm,
at different products and you can see how it rates. So you can
okay.
put in your shampoo and it'll say, whoo, this has this, and this in it that aren't great. And then then you can look up what shampoos are there. And that's a hard one because hair, man, this is all chemically treated. Every last hair on my head is dyed or highlighted or something. So I can't just go to some random shampoo and hope my hair is going to turn out. So that has been something I've had to work really hard. Oh my God. But as long as I'm trying to cut out, or you're trying to cut out as many things that aren't helping you,
Hmm.
then that's good.
I love it. So Ivy, going kind of back to House of Toose, this kind of a new chapter for you. So you're basically at the beginning of your practice, like you said, like next month you will be getting your certification. Um, what has this season of building and experimenting and growing been like for you? So I feel like photographers, we all went through this, like when you've built this a business.
Hmm. I think I have overwhelm because I don't know what I'm supposed to do on social media, even though I
Mm-hmm.
have a lot of social media accounts and I have posted on a lot of them. Um, I think my biggest thing is that probably just as a practitioner, as a counselor, is that I talked about this earlier, is that I no longer think of how to treat a symptom. I think, okay, why are they having this symptom? I think
Mm-hmm.
that's been the biggest light bulb
Mm-hmm.
in everything is just when I noticed that I was no longer trying to hand out all the reasons on how to help this woman that was in that conversation or in that group of women I was with, how we were trying to help her
Mm-hmm.
figure out how to get better sleep. I wanted to say everything those women were saying, and I just kept my mouth shut because I didn't want to add to the noise, and I didn't know what was keeping her awake at night or what was giving her poor sleep. So I felt like I don't have an answer for her because I don't know her story. I don't know
Mm-hmm.
her timeline. I don't know what's going on in her life and why she would be having poor sleep. So I think, I mean, I'm still working as a photographer and I plan to for a while, but as I'm trying to bring this business up, I think I'm having my biggest challenge is like, okay, now that I think this way, how do I talk to people online? Like, how do I say, you know, how do I guide them through being curious? How do I give them prompts or education on how to help themselves? I think that's been a
Mm-hmm.
that's kind of more that's more of the frustrating part. But the
Mm-hmm.
rest of it is I've I've picked up a lot, I've learned a lot, especially how I think, but also having it being I don't know, verified. I don't think that's the word I really want to use, but just like confirmed, like, oh yeah, that's how I was doing it, and that's how I'm supposed to be doing that. That is a really
Mm.
great thing for me. I'm glad I learned that. So just being told you're doing it right, you're doing great, I think that's
Mm-hmm.
been good too in learning and working on this. So,
Mm-hmm.
so
I feel
good.
like,
Go
oh,
ahead.
go ahead. I was
No,
gonna
I was
say, I
just saying
feel
it's just been good and kind of
yes,
hard.
like the juggling of, yeah.
Mhm.
I feel like you could talk about the poop online because everybody
That's
does need to know about it is something. It's
yeah.
funny. I grew up in a house that we do talk about. We do talk. I remember my great grandma. She would even be like, if you were sick, if you had anything wrong with you, it didn't matter what it was. You could have the sniffles, and she'd be like, "Did you have a BM today?" So we always kind of like that's kind of it's like a joke, but not in our and like growing up, it'd just
Mhm.
be like, you know, did you have a BM
Right.
today? But I just feel like that could be something because
Yeah.
it is a thing that people don't want to talk about, but it is
Yeah,
important.
that's a good point. Thanks. I
Yeah,
should
yeah,
start talking about poop.
yeah, yeah.
I will say, even as a nurse, having learned what I had to learn as a
Mm.
nurse,
Mm-hmm.
I will say that I always thought constipation was like it was really hard to go to the bathroom. Like you were straining to go to the
Mm-hmm.
bathroom. And that is a component of it. But what it actually looks like if it's more like just balls or chunks or like pebbles or something like that, it's actually constipation, even
Mm.
if it comes right out. So
Mm-hmm.
it's
Oh,
it's still kind of, I know. So if you're pooping and it's still just balls or stones or I don't know how you want to describe
right.
it,
Or not like
that's
not comfortable coming out, I'm
right.
guessing.
Right. Well, it can be,
Mm-hmm.
but if it's not a formed piece
Mm-hmm.
and it's just a whole bunch of balls, that's still constipation. You
Hmm.
gotta work on that.
Right.
I'm like, huh. A lot of women with thyroid issues will notice that that's something that they have, and that's why you hear people say fiber, fiber, and it's not like Metamucil. My God, try some food. You can add a little bit of fiber to your coffee, but I would say it got to go slow. Don't add it all at once, because you'll go to
Right.
the other end of the Bristol chart. There's a chart that actually has
Oh,
the Bristol, Bristol, Bristol chart.
okay.
You can look that up and you can see all the different poops. There's like five, six, five.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
It helps to have the visual
It yes, yes,
because I
it
think,
does. Yes.
yeah, you want to be in a 3-4. That's your happy
Okay.
zone. Be in a
Okay.
3-4 on that chart. It, it
See,
is
yeah, I think that's fascinating. I think that, and we all deal with it. Everybody poops, so it's like
right.
and again, no, people don't want
Yeah.
to talk about it, and
No,
yeah,
I'm sure my family is out there and can hear me right now. And they're like,
I'm sure they're like, "What is
my
she
God.
talking about? Why is she
Why is she
talking about poop?
right? They're probably like, I don't want to hear her talk about poop. My family hear all kinds of things. So,
Oh, I'm sure. So, Ivy, where should listeners go first if they want to connect with you? Like, is it
Instagram.
Instagram?
Yeah, the
Okay.
House of Toose Instagram is where I will post the most. I was trying to get started on Substack, and I may still do that because I'm working on building my email list right now. But Substack is like a pretty nice space where you can do long form, almost like blogging.
Oh, okay.
So it's basically people writing articles. So a lot of
Mm,
people that I might follow in the medical field that I might have learned about through a podcast or a book or even on social media, they may have a Substack. And it's just allows people to not necessarily have a website
mm-hmm.
right away and to just put content out and just to talk
Mm.
about things and people can sign up and then they'll get it emailed to them.
Okay.
Yeah, so I am on Substack, but I'm not currently writing. I will after I'm done with school, but
Got it. So find you on Instagram because then I'm sure once you start writing on Substack that you'll let us know.
oh yeah. Yeah.
And then you said that you were kind of building an email list. Are we able to get on an email list?
Yeah, I'll have to send you the link.
Okay. Okay.
I
Yeah, I
I
can put
don't
that in the
even know
show
if
notes.
yeah, I don't know if I have that connected to my House of Toose Instagram or not. I was just starting this is me as a photographer who's like, "Ooh, I want to do this. Ooh, I want to do this. Ooh, that's a good idea."
Mm-hmm.
Nonstop squirrel brain. I was like that sometime in September, I'm like, oh, I need to get a couple starter clients. Here's my email list. And I pushed it out there and then I haven't done anything with it because it became busier. Like
Yes.
it was school season,
That would,
October,
yeah.
September, October, November. I've been swamped with photo shoots. I'm like, wow, you're really going to have to manage your time more wisely, Ivy.
Well, but now you have those people. You have,
Yes.
and now whenever that's time and when
Hmm.
you're ready for it, you have them.
Yeah. So I'll get that to you because then people can
Okay.
sign up for it. They're not going to get an email right away. They'll get a little thanks for signing up, and then I'll get in there. It comes back again. I might have to start talking about poop first. That might be my
Yeah.
first
Yeah.
email.
There you go. There
Welcome
you
to your
go.
poop chat.
Yeah.
Shit, that might have to be the name of my email.
I
Woo,
think it
poop chat
might.
with
It
Ivy.
might. Yes. I love it. I feel like people would open that up. Like, they talk about like on, social media, the scroll, like where you want to stop the scroll. I feel like poop chat with Ivy, that might
Oh,
stop
Jesus. What
stop
a
the scroll.
legacy. Oh my God. My poor children. I do
They're like,
filter myself a little because I have kids and I'm like, if their friends see this, they are gonna get it. Hmm.
now I have in my notes and tell me if I have this wrong. Did you create a functional nutrition starter guide?
No,
Okay. I don't know why I had that in my notes. And I was like, did I get that off of your
that's a cool
little.
idea though. I'll write it down.
There you go. There you go.
First, let's talk about poop.
Yes. So Ivy, I started for this season, I started a rapid fire like segment. So I have like quick questions or I have questions, but I want them to be like quick answers for you. Like don't overthink.
The
Just say.
pressure, Kate. The
I know. I
pressure.
know. I know.
I'm not good with rapid fire. I can do this. All
You
right.
can. You
I
can.
can do this. Okay.
Okay. So, coffee, herbal tea, or electrolyte drink. What's your go-to mood booster?
My go-to mood booster. Okay. Fruity green tea plus a side of dancing.
Love it.
Yeah. Green tea is great. And if you have matcha in there, has L-theanine,
Mm.
which you can get right, it crosses the blood-brain barrier. So Green tea. I mean,
That's
I
your
love coffee. I drink coffee, but my afternoon drink is like right after lunch is definitely a green tea, but I
green
like it a
tea.
little bit fruitier. I don't like just plain green tea. Just that's
Okay.
my taste. That's my taste
Sure.
buds. And
Sure.
organic. God, always organic.
Okay. Okay.
Eh.
Okay. One wellness habit you refuse to skip.
Oh, good sleep.
Mm. Hmm.
I
I know
I
that. Yeah, I
pri
was
I
gonna say.
prioritize sleep. I'm a bed
Yeah.
early. You guys text in our group chat till like midnight, and I wake up and I read everything from 7 on. 'Cause that's when my phone turns off. I go to bed around 8:30 and I get up around, well, in the winter I get up around 7 because it's so dark. Um,
Right.
but I don't know. I go to bed at 8:30 and I wake up around 6, sometimes 5.
Okay.
In the summer, I basically go when the sun goes for getting up.
Mm-hmm.
My body
Mm-hmm.
just does it.
Dream location for a women's wellness retreat. And this could be like where you would want to go for a retreat, like
Mm.
you are a um client or you're or
Oh yeah.
a participant, or if you had wanted to do one.
Probably Costa Rica. I've been
Mm.
there. There is there I mean, I've been several places, but Costa Rica, that Pura Vida, that no makeup, comfort, yoga, meditation, beach, water, Costa Rica.
Mm.
I want to go now. Now I want to go. I'm
Now
like, oh,
you're like,
let's just
let's
go.
do it.
Yeah. Yeah.
If your personal healing style had a theme song, what would it be?
Like, oh my gosh. I almost said what, and I'm like, why would you say that? It was just popped in my head. Um, but I'm not gonna use it. So like I was gonna say I like big butts and I cannot like that's not a song for this. Probably Shake It Off. Taylor Swift, Shake It Off.
Mm,
Shake
mm,
It Off. Can just
I love
start
it.
over the next day, shake off the stress, dance, get your body moving. That's a good song. There we go.
I like it. I like it. Or
Better
big
than
butts.
or big butts.
I mean, it's a good one to like shake to.
Yeah, there you go.
So if you're like, okay, I'm not, I love it. I love it.
Don't you dare tie that to any of your posts. Here's Ivy. I like big butts. Oh my God. Now you will. I know it.
I'm like, thanks for that idea, Ivy.
Oh,
So
shoot.
now I know that you actually, as a photographer, stepped into the confession booth as a photographer
Oh, yeah.
back when I first started the podcast, the first season. Now I want you to step into the wellness confession booth. So, and I know you're just on starting this part of the journey, but you've been, I mean, for us, in our group chat, in how many years have we known each other, have been our nutritionist, I feel like. What is one hilarious, unexpected moment, chaotic, anything like that, that it's been in your either in your own wellness journey or with a friend, family member that you want to confess to today?
Okay. Probably the first time I peed my pants. At least I didn't shit my pants. It wasn't the poop. But we I was on a trampoline. I didn't think anything of it. And it was at a block party. So
Mm-hmm.
we had been eating and drinking, and I wasn't drunk or anything, but I had been drinking and
Mm-hmm.
we were bouncing around. All of a sudden, I'm like, oh my God. I stopped immediately because it was a lot more than just a little. And I went into the bathroom and went to the bathroom, and I'm like, I'm gonna have to go home and change. This is like too much. This is not a little dribble. And I had had 2 children
Mm-hmm.
and no pelvic floor therapy. Didn't even know what that was other than Kegels. No one
Mm-hmm.
does Kegels because you're like, whatever, it doesn't do anything. It
Hmm.
does technically if you do it correctly and you've been guided on how to do that. But I didn't know anything about how to strengthen my core properly and all that. I just knew I wanted to jump on that trampoline, and I peed my pants.
And that was your first time peeing your pants.
Yeah. Yep.
Wow.
Yeah, that was, I mean, other than probably when I was 5.
Well, yeah. I mean, like
Yeah.
as an
But
adult thing.
like as an adult. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yep.
And then did that ever like make you want to then figure all that out? Because you had just had the two kids. So
Yep,
you
I
were
had just
young.
had the two kids. Yes.
So
So
yeah.
I didn't, no, I wasn't curious at that. I probably did some Kegels after that. I'm sure I did. I'm
Sure. Sure.
sure. And then no, my action to that is always have a pad on if I'm going trampoline jumping and pee and don't drink beforehand. Like go dehydrated, go to the bathroom, wear the big huge pad. Because I would take my kids to the trampoline park.
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah.
And so we'd be bouncing. That's the first
Hmm.
thing I did. As soon as it was our time, I'm like, I'll be right there. Bathroom,
Hmm.
big granny liner, and
Hmm.
then go. Because I didn't
Oh,
want it to happen again.
no, no. I think that, well, and I feel like that you definitely learned something and knew
Yeah,
what to
yeah.
do to.
But I didn't focus on the muscle strength. That wasn't until
Mm-hmm.
just the last, what was it, 2 years ago, 3 years ago? I was tired of incontinence. I still have it a little bit, but I now
Mm-hmm.
know what I need to do to prevent that after having 4 children. And
Mm-hmm.
the last two were twins. I pushed those suckers out. I'm like, really need to work on my muscle tone. And, with my changing hormones, that changes how well you're able to strengthen that area. You can use vaginal estrogen down there. It's wonderful to help with that. So, um, I've learned a lot since then. But when it happened, no, I wasn't curious until just in the last few years.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Well, thank you for that. I feel like that was a great, I feel like
Confessional.
it was a great confessional. And I also feel like, yes, was it something that was like obviously like mortifying to you, like what just happened? But so many women do that,
Yeah.
like deal with it. So
Even men deal with incontinence. It's not
mm,
as common because
common.
they don't have the same system we do. Um, but even men, that's something that they have to deal with. So it's people should talk about it. We should talk
Hmm.
about poop. We should talk about incontinence because it's uncomfortable. And we were raised that you just didn't talk about that stuff. That was
Right.
not something you ever brought up. And
Hmm.
that's not fair. I feel like that was one of the cool things of social media is that some of these less than fun topics or things that we've been told we shouldn't talk about, we do talk about. And that has helped a lot of people who silently were suffering for whatever reason because they couldn't even ask their doctor about it. So,
Hmm. Hmm.
so yeah,
Well, I feel like Ivy, this was a great conversation, and I love that we're stopping on, ending on poop and incontinence. But I feel like with wellness and, it's all part of it.
it is. Everything's connected.
And I have to say, as photographers, the peeing of the pants can happen. Like when you're on location and there isn't, I'm always a photographer. Like if people come to the studio and then we go somewhere, I'm always like, who has to go to the bathroom? Anybody have to go to the bathroom? And I don't really think about myself sometimes. So there have been times where it's like when I am driving either home or back to the studio and I'm like, I gotta go. I'm gonna pee my pants.
Oh my
So
gosh. Hey,
if
when I was shooting in Morocco, that was my biggest fear was finding
mm,
public bathrooms.
oh my
So I was like, oh, I'm someone who has to go like, often enough. And this is before I did any pelvic floor stuff where she's like, no, actually, your bladder can hold quite a bit. You need to let it learn how to hold pee.
mm-hmm,
But
mm-hmm.
but yeah, I was worried. I mean, I went into some really gross bathrooms because I had to go.
Go. Yes.
Yeah. So I get it that the photographer thing, it's like, okay, we're gonna be shooting all day. I gotta map out potties.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Well, Ivy, thank you so much for being on the podcast. This was great.
I
This
loved
was a
it.
great
Thank you.
conversation. Wow, wasn't that a conversation? If there's one big takeaway from today's conversation, it's that so many things were told to us that, you say it's just part of getting older, fatigue, weight gain, joint pain, low motivation. It deserves a deeper look. Ivy reminded us that midlife and especially perimenopause can start earlier than we expect. And instead of accepting symptoms at face value, we can get curious and start asking why. We talked about simple, realistic ways to support your health. Do you remember those exercise snacks? And also those three non negotiables: quality sleep, stable blood sugar, and healthy digestion. We also touched on those toxin exposures and, just chip away at it with smarter swaps in your kitchen and personal care products. It doesn't have to be this big, huge, anxiety ridden thing. Ivy is building her functional nutrition practice, House of Toose, around this exact root cause approach. And if today's episode resonated, you'll want to stay connected with her. So go ahead and find her on Instagram. And then also, I will be putting her email list in the show notes, and you can get more information and education from her on her Instagram and on her email list. And it's probably going to include conversations we don't always have, but we probably should. Thank you so much for listening today, and just get ready for this next season. It is jam packed with great guests, great information, and we will see you next week. Have a great one, Shutter Squad.